Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. My name is Tom from 6 Foot Networks. Thank you for joining me. It is Friday the 24th of June 2022. I've been in South Carolina now for 6 days. We made it here last Saturday. I guess we crossed midnight, so we probably got here on Father's Day. First things first, I really wanted to say I'm sorry for not getting as much footage generated during the trip as I had wanted. If I told you that the entire trip was about as tough of a idea or project that I've ever done, that would be a gross understatement. We did use my wife's ice vehicle to tow a trailer. I know you guys saw the day 2 update. However, the days 3 and 4, the updates never happened. So for that, I apologize. I'm just going to summarize real quick what happened. So we left California on the 14th, and we made it through to Flagstaff the first night. Had a pretty decent stay. It was really an uneventful trip. Just a lot of miles. I think we drove for probably close to 11 hours that day. And of course, by driving, I mean that included all the fuel stops, all the rest stops, all the food stops and everything along the way. Then the next day, we made it through to New Mexico. We stayed in Albuquerque through the night. That was also a very nice stay. I think I may have uploaded, that's the one that I uploaded actually, was the Albuquerque one. That was the day 2 video. Day 3, we stayed in, let's see, where do we go after that? We stayed in, God, everything's running together right now. I'll have to look back, so I'll put it down in the description. I'll put all the stops and everything. The one thing that I do want to share was that the experience in Memphis was absolutely less than stellar. It was probably the worst way to end a series of hotel stays across the country. We got in at about 10 o'clock, found the room to be completely disgusting, dirty, and in complete disarray. There were major safety issues with live exposed wires when it comes to the lamps. The air conditioner also had exposed lamps. And the toilet seat was 1.5 feet away from the toilet. Not to mention black mold on the tub, as well as the exhaust vent that's typically either above the shower or above the toilet. It was caked completely shut with just the worst possible slime and grime that you can imagine. So I'm actually fighting with the Hilton Hotels Corporation right now to at least get reimbursed for that night, because we shouldn't have to pay for a disaster that we didn't cause. So one of the other things that happened out of that was that I called the front desk to get some help. The guy that showed up was not an engineer. He was somebody kind of like, I guess, a porter or something. He came to assist. The second he looked at the toilet, he was like, "Damn, let me see if I can get you another room." That's a sign. Of course, the hotel was booked up, and the only option was for them to check us out and make us homeless. I don't know what was going on in Memphis that night, but I can tell you that there was not a single hotel within 50 miles of us that had an open room. In fact, when I called Hilton at God knows what time it was, I think it was 11 o'clock at night, I told him the situation. I sent them pictures and everything, and the guy was just appalled on the other phone. Couldn't believe what I was telling him, etc., etc. He looked in his computers and he said, "I don't know what's going on in Memphis, but all our hotels are booked." And because I'm a Hilton Honors member, and I have been since 2005, it didn't make sense for us to spend more money in a potentially similar for a potentially similar situation, because we didn't know what was going on. And our official opinion about that property is laziness. Nobody wants to do a thorough job at cleaning or inspecting the rooms after people check out. So the front desk was, claiming that they had no idea that the room was in such disarray. And I'm thinking to myself, housekeeping comes in after somebody checks out. They make a list. I used to work in the hotel industry. In fact, I used to work for Hilton Hotels. And the first thing that happens is the housekeepers take note of any damage or anything that's missing from the hotel, and then they bill that to the previous person's stay. At least they're supposed to. Now, along with that, there were massive bleach stains on the carpet, which we couldn't figure out where the bleach came from, but there was, big, giant, square foot pieces of carpet in the hallway that were literally bleached out. And so we don't know. There was blood on the towels, etc., etc. I'm not going to bore you guys with any more details. Needless to say, Memphis was a horrible stay. And that kind of translated to the restaurants as well. It was a very different type of people, what we were used to. Out of the entire trip, Oklahoma was spot on. If there's a place in Oklahoma to visit, I would make that drive in a heartbeat. My wife loved it too. It was really, honestly, it was a sight to see. When my wife's face lit up, culturally, the people were so just beautiful, like beautiful people inside and out. And Oklahoma, good job. You guys made our stay super. Now, that's not to say that Arizona and New Mexico weren't great. I had good experiences with some truckers. We stopped at our typical Love's truck stops along the way. We love Love's. There was one TA Travel Centers that we stopped at. The cashier was nice, that sold me the food, etc., etc. We had a decent experience. Memphis, I couldn't get out of fast enough. In fact, we checked out early. We didn't have breakfast, and we just ended up stopping probably, I think it was at a Love's to get food, and it was just horrendous. We just we had to get out of there. So anyway, to those of you from Memphis, my only advice is, God, get your city together. Because it was not just the hotel, it was the gas stations, it was the rest stops, it was everything. Everybody that we came across was either rude, obnoxious, or condescending in some way, shape, or form. So that's all I have to say about Memphis. I'm done with it. If I can avoid it, I will stay at least 120 miles outside of Memphis, or just never drive through Tennessee again. Let's see. Once we got through Tennessee, we took the northern route. So we had the option of driving through all of Tennessee into North Carolina and then down into South Carolina, or we could have gone through the southern states, all the states beneath Tennessee. But it seemed like there was construction that would have increased our trip by an extra, I think, 10 hours. So we took that northern route, and we pushed it from Memphis to our house here in South Carolina. That was a 13-hour drive, and it was massive. We made it after midnight. We came into a beautiful mountain range that we couldn't see. We drove through the dark, and as such, we missed 2 state signs. We were taking pictures of the state signs because as we were crossing the state line, we were like, oh, these are nice, so we took pictures. However, North Carolina and South Carolina ended up happening about 75 minutes, one after the other. There's about 70 miles from the Tennessee-North Carolina border to the North Carolina-South Carolina border. That western part of the state is about 75 miles. So, and it was in the dark, and the state sign was the size of a shoebox, and it is what it is. So we didn't get those 2, but I'm sure you guys didn't care about that. Anyway, we made it home to our new home. Home's great. The house has been empty for over a year, so obviously we have to, eradicate some pests. We have some spiders, some roaches that we're going to take care of. I already hired a pest control company that's going to come out every few months to lay down a nice thick barrier around the house to prevent stuff from coming out. And they're going to do a deep inspection this coming Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, I got the usual cans from Walmart. I'm actually sitting at the Walmart parking lot here in Union, South Carolina, and great prices. First of all, I think all of the stuff was anywhere from a third the cost to about 2/3 the cost as what I remember paying for it in Southern California. So definitely thrilled about that. Food is much cheaper. I also think personally food is much better quality here. You know, even something as simple as a sandwich from your favorite sandwich store, whether it's Jersey Mike's, Subway, or whatever, much better flavor. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just all mental, but I'm looking at a Waffle House. That was a good experience too. Eddie and I had that the first day on Father's Day. You know, Eddie took me to a Waffle House, which was sweet. I kind of love, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a fireworks stand right there. I don't know what it is about southern states and their fireworks, but I remember when I lived here, when I lived in Atlanta, there were fireworks stands everywhere. So I try to park as far away from them as possible. There was one at a gas station. I don't know what to say about that. There was a sign on the fireworks stand to keep away 300 feet, yet they were about 100 feet away from the gas pumps. So that was probably the most fun that I had along the way. But I think that's it. That sums up 4 days of travel, and now this last few days of getting settled. Our stuff is still in California, so the company we hired, which I wanted to do a full review on, you know, we signed a document that said it could take anywhere from 7 to 21 days to deliver our stuff, and they mentioned that, you know, things were tough and that it could take a little bit longer than what it normally would. So our stuff is still in Chatsworth, California. So we're waiting for that, and we are coming to Walmart every day to buy, you know, ice cubes for our cooler to keep at least our refrigeration game on point. And it's working out pretty good, but nevertheless, it'd be nice to have our fridge, our stuff. We've made beds out of sheets, blankets, and whatever we could find. So the three of us do have a place to stay. And of course, our dog Duchess has her dog bed, which we took with us. This car, my wife's 2017 RAV4, did a phenomenal job towing that trailer. It was a 4x8 U-Haul. They claim you can tow it with any car. I believe that's about right. I believe we had about 1,700 pounds, I guessed. I didn't weigh it or anything. The trailer's about 800 pounds empty. So you figure about 900 pounds of stuff, maybe 1,000 pounds of stuff. The car towed it like a champ through the mountains, through the valleys. There were no problems. Coolant temp was solid. Performance of the vehicle was solid. And I will tell you that I did a lot of research on whether or not this car would survive the trip. And you know what? It's running right now, and it's still doing great. So the air conditioning kicks butt in this car. It actually saved us from a lot of 100+ degree driving, especially through, you know, New Mexico and Arizona, where it was over 100 degrees pretty much from sunrise to sunset. Other than that, I think that's it. I started back to work on Tuesday after the Juneteenth holiday. Nothing really much to report there. I got a little table from Walmart, got a little chair, got my laptop set up. I'm able to fully function, so that's kind of nice. And we're just inching our way through it. You know, we made some good friends with our neighbors. Yesterday we took a 2.5 mile walk around, you know, the area. Humidity's been great, weather's been great. Today it's actually cloudy. The sun's not beaming and burning like it was the last few days. Temperature overall, is hovering. Right now it says outside is 80 degrees. It's beautiful. You know, I'm not sweating. I'm not, I just loaded up the back of the car with the Walmart run and feeling good about it. So anyway, I'm going to get back. I'm going to get home and take care of my wife and son, and also finally start my work day. And then I am going to just try to keep you guys posted on how things go, and we'll see what happens. We'll take it step by step. There's a couple of new things around the corner with regards to 6 Foot Networks, my company, and I'll be sure to share that along the way. But for now, as always, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, go down below, leave me your thoughts, and I'm going to do the same and reply back to any comments that come my way. In the meantime, again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.